Dean Kochanowski, Dudley Fire Chief and Emergency Management Director. We're here today to discuss the replacement of our Ambulance 1. The current truck is 10 years old. We usually replace ambulances on a 5-year cycle, but we've been replacing them on a 10-year cycle. The ambulance is 70% of our call volume. We do bring in revenue from the ambulance based on billing and medical transports. The question was asked of me, why can't we use the ambulance receipts for purchasing a new ambulance? We can't, because the townspeople voted to put that into the general fund, so it goes back into our operating budget. So 50% of the money that funds the fire department budget is from ambulance revenue, and the other 50% is taxpayer money. That ambulance money is not allowed for purchase of capital items. So now we are asking that the townspeople replace our ambulance. It provides a critical service to the town of Dudley. Our current ambulance has a number of mechanical issues with it. It's becoming more and more difficult to get the state certification every year that's required, and we also have trouble getting it inspected every year at the regular service station, as it fails emissions every year, at least initially, and then we have to put more money into it to get it to pass. It's beyond its useful life. And again, the ambulance is in pretty tough shape. It's 10 years old. It's got 104,000 miles on it. It's a lot of hard miles through winters, through a lot of side roads. I mean, you're looking at a mobile emergency room in the back, and you know, it has to kind of be in good condition, especially when you have critical patients back there. These things should be being replaced on a regular basis. I would really implore the people to vote in favor of this, because again, it provides a critical service to the town. It's not something for the fire department, it's to provide a better EMS and better medical coverage for the town. We have 2 ambulances currently, but we need those 2. We do a number of back-to-back calls. And if we did not have a second ambulance, the revenue loss would be roughly $200,000 to $250,000 a year without that second ambulance. Number 2, if one of the ambulances goes down, we still have an ambulance to cover the town in that type of a situation, where a mechanical failure or whatever it would be. We always have a backup. And the most important thing is it provides safety and security for people who need medical attention, and Dudley does have a high elderly population. And the question was posed to me by a citizen, why can't we use the ambulance funds to replace the ambulance? Because back prior to me being chief, the town voted to have the money go back into what's called the general fund, which would support my operating budget and other town operating budgets, but it could not be earmarked for capital purchases. So that's why we are asking for this purchase through taxpayer money, because we're unable to do it the other way. Unfortunately, we have no other avenue for funding but to put it on the ballot. A debt exclusion is usually for buildings or equipment such as vehicles, and I always think of it as a car loan. Once it's paid off, it goes away. It's not a permanent tax increase. Where an override is for personnel and things of that nature, that's a permanent increase. We're getting this off of a debt exclusion, which again is temporary, only for the life, for however long it takes the town to pay it off, which is usually a couple years, maybe 3 years. The town does have a good history of paying things off early, so it wouldn't be an increase for very long. So you have to remember, debt exclusion is for capital items, vehicles, buildings. Override is for people. Debt exclusion is not permanent, so this would be a debt exclusion. So to explain the ballot question, a yes vote would replace the existing ambulance that was purchased in 2010 and give us a new ambulance to replace that ambulance. A no vote, there'd be no change, and we'd keep the current ambulance and run the risk that it's not going to get recertified and we're going to drop down to one ambulance and potentially lose $200,000 to $250,000 in revenue. Plus, our protection of the townspeople during medical incidents also becomes smaller because of the lack of an ambulance, a second ambulance. So now that we did an overview of the ambulance, I just wanted to take you out and show you the ambulance. I just wanted to show you the condition of the ambulance from the outside. It looks pretty good. It has had a number of mechanical problems, major mechanical failures over the last few years. It looks good from the outside because we take a lot of pride in our department and we do take care of things. These vehicles are washed regularly. The other thing I wanted to mention was this is a van-style chassis. It doesn't hold up as well in the New England climate, especially in the winters. We really want to switch to a truck chassis, which is what we have our other truck, frontline truck, which is a F-Series, and it has four-wheel drive, which is much needed in the wintertime. Another issue we had with this ambulance over the last few years, it's been really critical to patient care, is a lot of electrical issues, major electrical issues. As you know, or may not know, a lot of our equipment, such as the defibrillator, is run through the electrical system of the truck. I mean, it does have its own battery source too, but it becomes problematic when treating patients, especially when we're driving them to the city hospitals, as that's a little bit of a distance. I just wanted to give you a brief look inside the truck. Again, we take good care of our stuff. It's in good shape. But if you were actually here to take a closer look, it's seen some hard miles. It's getting worn down. Again, we do our best to take care of the things we have because we appreciate the taxpayer support, and we also want to provide the best service possible to the citizens of Dudley, so we want to keep our stuff top notch. This video, I could go for 40, 50 minutes, but obviously we don't have that amount of time. I could show you the rust problems we have underneath the truck. The mechanical issues I have to describe because obviously if you're not sitting in the truck, I can't show you what's happened, but I can say we've had considerable amount of downtime with this truck. In other words, it's been out of service more than it's been in service due to mechanical failure and electrical failure and costly repairs. I mean, the truck served us well. It's lived its useful life. My name's Dean Kochanowski. I'm the Fire Chief and Emergency Management Director for Dudley, and I'd like to thank you for your time.